All right, guys, welcome back to the FUT podcast. I'm your host, Jake, along with my boy Chai's on as usual. What's going on?
What up? What up?
First thing, let's get into it straight away. Huge point of the episode and pretty much the main point of the episode, talking Summer Heat promo. Got to be one of the best promos EA has ever done, in my opinion. We'll get to talking kind of what they brought out, content they brought out, and kind of why, in my opinion, it's been one of the best. But straight away, I mean, this is a new promo from EA that they haven't done in the past. And credit to them for keeping people on the game. I know people say, like, market's dead, game's dead. But at this point, like, you look at the users, you look at the cards, the SBC fodder. It's crazy, like, how engaged they got people into the game at this point. So you got to give credit to them.
Oh, yeah, definitely the best. I think it's the best promo they've done all year.
That's what a lot of people are saying on Twitter is, like, dude, they gave us shit content for 7 months of the year, and then this has been the best promo over anything they've had.
Most of their promos have just been, hey, we're throwing in sick players that 95% of players can't afford off the market anyways.
Exactly. It's like, this is grindable content. They're cheap SBCs, and they're, like, good SBCs, like, good value.
Right. I got Ramos in the Moments one.
Exactly. We'll get to that in a second.
That was one of the best pulls all year.
Right. We'll get to that in a second. Let's jump into straight away Thursday. So promo came out Wednesday, and I guess we can go in order. Promo came out Wednesday, and straight off the bat, they dropped in Dembele, who, to be fair, 84 rated for that card. It's a pretty nasty card.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheap as shit to make that card.
I'm saying, I think it was 80K when it first came out, and we'll get to talking fodder in a second too. But when this first came out, because fodders were so dead, the price of this was like an 80K because the 84 squad, and like now obviously they've gone up. But I mean, if you're looking at this card, you have the 3-star weak foot, which is probably his only downside, honestly. But if you're playing him as a box-to-box player, which you probably would be, I mean, the only yellow stats he has within his total in games is on heading accuracy and free kick accuracy, which is like, all right, like, who gives a shit?
Right. I mean, his defensive awareness is a little low, but other than that, he could pretty much play like a CDM position.
Right, and I think
he should feel kind of like a Conte,
that's what
except with better passing.
You look at his acceleration,
dribbling,
dude. That 97 acceleration, he's probably sick. I was kind of tempted to complete this card, but my team's in a mess right now. I have so many different players from different leagues untradeable. It's like I can't fit.
Oh yeah, you've had problems with that all year.
Yeah. But anyway,
you need some icons.
I know I do. I think I mean, straight away, like that was a banger SBC that they brought out at a good price.
Right.
Moving to Thursday, speaking of icons, I mean, there's been rumors of them dropping a prime icon SBC for literally months. I remember like DMing you, like, Donk saying like, oh, it could be coming. It's like they finally brought it. A lot of people thought they were going to bring it on a Friday, but dude, 88 rated with, I think it was 55 chem. Like, I mean,
yeah, I've done 3 of them.
It's probably about as good as they could get for this point in FIFA. I know people will still say, it's probably not worth it just because, I mean, out of the 90 that you hold and that you'll play straight away in your club just because of the point in the game. But like, to be fair to them, like, I mean, if you're looking at weekend league rewards, you're getting, a couple 90+ players if you finish gold 3 or above. You throw those guys in, you throw some old SBC fodder in, and like you can basically do an icon SBC a week if you want it.
Yeah, and if you grind that Mendy, then you get the 85 Mendy, 87, 89 Mendy just for SBCs. And a high-rated left back with good links is huge for SBCs.
Right. So I mean, for free. Yeah, exactly. So if you look at this icon SBC, so I did one. I pulled Van Nistelrooy. I mean, classic. Like you got to understand the drop rate, and these are going to be small, but it's just like at least it's something to grind. So I pulled Van Nistelrooy, and then you pulled a couple, right? Who'd you pack?
First one was Varane, who I already had, and I submitted into that one. So that was funny. Then I got Blanc, who I was kind of okay with, just because he strong links with Cypher and Ben Yedder and Mendy, so I was kind of hype about that. And so I could finally put Rio on the bench, so I don't have anyone that's 85 starting anymore.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just did the Moments SBC and got Ramos, and he strong links to Carvajal, so I might as well just roll with him. And Maldini is my center backs now. And then my third icon, I got Mateus.
No way, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
What the hell? Are you serious, bro?
Yeah, I snapped it to you.
Damn, I didn't even open it yet, dude. That's crazy.
So it
Hell yeah,
sucks I did the Cypher SBC because that's what he would have been playing that position. So I'm just going to
dude.
try to play him as the box-to-box and bench Santi.
That's mad. He's literally like the 1 of 10 that we were talking about could actually start at this point in the game.
Yeah, I'm looking on FUTBin, and he was like 750K on Xbox. So, I mean, I feel like an idiot just starting Santi Carzola over him. So,
Damn,
I got to at least try him.
That was a prime? Yeah, he's still at 900K still.
Yeah, so I got him, and I have the team of the year or team of the season Kimmich, and I have mid Ballack. So I got some good Germans.
Yeah, you got the German midfield going on. Damn, dude, that's hype. Yeah, he's 850K on PS, and I mean 89 plus. I mean his dribbling's a little bit low, but I mean,
and he's strong links to my boy Undav.
Yeah, dude, that's solid. I didn't even look at my stuff yet, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I'm excited to test him out today.
That's hype. I had him in I think it was 17. He was sick. I think I had his prime. He was awesome in the midfield. So
I had his prime last year. I bought him super late in the year, and he was solid. He was real fun to use.
Right. So moving on, I know another thing I wanted to highlight, and I touched on it briefly, was with EA finally adjusted the Weekend League promo, or the Weekend League rewards within this promo as a result of just kind of this promo, which was actually huge. I mean, we've been calling it for like a long time, everyone on FIFA, just because who wants to play Weekend League in June for a team of the season that's an 82 rated? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was huge. So if you finish Gold 2+, you're going to be getting any player is going to be a minimum of a 90 rated, so or higher. So at least you're going to get high fodder. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to get anyone good just because there's 500 special cards back in pack that it's pulling from. But at least you're getting high-rated SBCs and fodder that you can then go in and put in to all these promotional SBCs that are out right now.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, just to keep people playing, I think that was a good move.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
And you really have no idea what you're going to pull from these. Like, with the team of the seasons, when they were doing those reds, I mean, you knew what was going to come. You knew what was going to show up on the screen. You can even pick the position after you watch a couple YouTube videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Or go on Twitter.
Exactly. Everyone was getting the same polls, and it was sketchy shit from EA. But if you look at this top 100, it should be fun to see kind of this first Thursday in terms of see like what the players are, see what the pack weight is, like you were saying. But if you look at top 100 now, you get 11 players that are 90 plus. So it's like you get a little bit lucky, dude. Like, I mean, granted, top 100 is very elite, but I mean, that's 11 90 pluses. That's a lot of SBCs you can do.
Yeah, you can make 2 icon packs at least with your rest of your rewards.
You can make 3/4 right away with the rest of your rewards. Agreed. So, so yeah, I mean, that was solid of EA to bring back specials and packs as well. That's the next thing within the promo. So, and I think the reason why this is solid is just because they also brought up 81 plus double upgrade and 82 to 88 upgrade. So that alone gives you a grind to submit, gold rare players. But on top of that, like you have a chance packing 500 special cards that are in packs right now.
And usable ones.
Right. Usable ones, but and fodder. I mean, you ripped a couple today and got a couple high-rated specials.
Yeah, I ripped like probably 7 or 8 of them today, and I used my leftover fodder and fodder from that to make the moments and the prime icon. I got Ramos and Mateus, so pretty good day for me.
Yeah, that's solid. And then the last one we'll touch on real quick. Well, I guess we'll touch on 2, but the last player SBC we'll touch on that you actually have to complete with players is that Perisic. They released him on Friday. 4-star, 5-star seems pretty meta. I've seen some stuff in game that people are kind of talking that like, he's not as good as advertised, but for again 84 rated squad, obviously great links with Bayern. A lot of people would have liked him to play him at cam, but obviously you can change in game. But yeah, what are your thoughts with that one?
I think this is one of those cards that really can play any position.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the pace to play anywhere, play forward. His shooting's really good. His dribbling's good. Passing's good. His defending is a 74 defensive awareness. His standing tackle and sliding tackle is not great, but you could probably squeeze him into a box-to-box. It might be tough, but it could be a little bit of a stretch, but you could probably pull it off. So, I mean, I wouldn't play him as that, but you could play him as a cam, winger, striker, or if you need to end of the game, throw him in at midfield. And he could finish from anywhere. So
Right.
I'm a big fan of this card, and it's
No,
pretty
I agree.
cheap. For 115K, like that's a pretty good deal.
And the crazy thing is too, if you look at the cheapest 94 rated, he actually is the cheapest 94 rated. So like technically he is fodder too, which is mad. Which is just
Right.
to the value point, which is good. And then the last thing on this card I'll say is I think it's a bit of a stretch too to play him in the midfield, but to your point, he has 86 strength. His high physical will help, and he's 6'1". So I mean, he's almost like a Bollock in the sense of his physical presence too.
Yeah, and the 99 stamina, he's not going to get tired.
Yeah. So I mean,
defensive and his work rates aren't bad too. High attack, medium defending.
Right.
So I mean, he'll come back and help out.
In terms of player SBC, so that was it from Wednesday to Friday. One thing that I know you want to touch on, and I think is a fantastic thing that EA brought out, was Ferland Mendy grindable SBC, or grindable player objective, I should say. I mean, that's something we've been calling for all year. People wanted him in footies. People wanted him in the Future Stars promo. Didn't get anything. Obviously, he was hurt, so he didn't hurt like all year, so he didn't get any informs. So like this was a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this one. It got me finally playing Rivals again, and everyone's doing the challenge, so everyone's helping each other out. It's not impossible to get. Everything's pretty easy to do, and we just got to play Rivals for a couple of weeks, and you'll get them. And then you get 3 other Mendys that are perfect for SBCs, and then you got an end game left back with good links. That's also just kind of a swag card to have on your team. So all around dub there.
I was gonna say, I think like this is a win-win in like every category because something that people were asking for is like grindable cards that like you can get upgraded for, which is like a concept that's been in like Madden, concept that's been in other EA games, and like I mean, if they can implement this like early into FIFA next year, like I think that'd be a huge dub. But to your point, I mean, on top of that, like if it is a grind, I mean, it's Rivals based, you're well into it. But I mean, if you complete it, it's a 93 rated card that's 90 defensive stats, 94 physical, and 97 pace. So it's like it's the best left back maybe in FIFA.
And 5-star.
And 5-star. So I mean, it's a win-win. And honestly, another aspect I think is a win-win too is for the guys who maybe don't want to grind the entire card. All you have to do is play 10 games to just get an 87. So for me, for example, I don't know if I'm going to grind the entire thing, but basically I get an inform for free because I did the foot miss. I'm going from an 85 to 87 with upgraded stats in every statistic just for playing 10 games with my La Liga team in Rival. So I think that's a big W from EA too.
Yeah, and usually when they put these challenges out there to grind in Rivals, they're just like pulling your hair out kind of stuff. But this one is really not that difficult. Like I'm not getting frustrated at all. I've been like pretty calm playing these games.
Yeah.
Usually I'm freaking out, but I mean it's been pretty enjoyable actually. Which is I never thought I'd be saying that right now in Rivals.
Right.
So I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. So another thing I want to touch on is the market impact of the SBC fodder. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting what EA is doing because they're bringing good value with these 84 rated SBCs, but they're making them all the same rating, which is 84 rated SBCs. But more importantly, dude, they're all like 70 plus chem. So if you were able to get into some cheap SBC fodder late last week, I mean, all they've done is flown. They've even upgraded 85 rated cars. I was like, okay, which is insane. If you're looking at which are best to link with, then I mean those cards just absolutely flew. I picked up a ton of Carvajals to try to flip. I picked them up on Thursday because I knew there'd still be SBC demand, and I actually sold them Friday in the hype for like 100 coins a card, like ridiculously cheap. It was dumb of me, and then he's taken off ever since. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, and even like the 82s are up too.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, getting back to the point of the high rated, like that's what's going to help you fly. That's what SBC fodder is going to help fly. Is to your point. I mean, you texted me today. You're like, yeah, it's high rated, which kind of sucks, and that's exactly what drives it up because I mean, you're going to have high rated SBC fodder 90 plus. So it's going to enable you to put in these 80, 82 cards that are just going to link. I mean, you look at a bunch of the Spaniards in La Liga, obviously all get strong links, and then Italians in Serie A all get strong links. You think of, a Serbi, Romangawi, and Sirigu is like that perfect triangle link, and you kind of think of that same thing with the Spaniards. So those cards always fly with SBC fodder. With high-rated chem. So, that's just the stuff you got to look out for in terms of SBC fodder for investing in the future if you're interested in that.
Yeah, especially when people are getting reds that are high rated with no links, they're looking to get low rated with good links.
Right.
Because everyone's got a ton of shitty icons that they don't want anymore, and shitty reds and team of the seasons they don't want anymore. They just need stuff that they can strong link.
Right. And it's actually interesting too because most of the cheapest fodder for the high rated is because of the SBC. A lot of it are actually special cards just because they're supplied so much right now.
Yeah, I needed to buy just one. I needed to buy 2 players to finish my prime icon today, and I was looking to buy the cheapest 89 overall in the market, and the cheapest 89 on the market was Informed Cruz.
Yeah, which is funny. Just because they're supplied so much, and in turn, because there's so many specials in packs, most of the high-rated golds are out of packs because their informs are in packs, which is funny.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And to that point, the market has pretty much flown for 87 plus. I mean, if you look at 88s, 88s right now, I was looking at just an example. Cavani's a common fodder, and last week he was 22K, and this week he's 34K. Prime Icon SBC out. I mean, I think that'll keep the flooring kind of at a point that we haven't seen for a while, just because I think that Prime Icon SBC will always be in demand.
Yeah. So,
interesting point with the market this week. We'll see what EA brings, kind of moving forward with player SBCs. But, something if you're looking for investing here on the podcast, I think something moving forward that you could actually look into. They actually are going to have team of the season coming back this Wednesday, I believe, which is going to be complete SBC fodder, obviously, compared to all these teams. But with all these requirements taking informs or team of the week moments, there could be some demand if you kind of buy at the right time, which is typically for Saturday night. So I'd look at that for investing. And then the other thing is if they do man of the matches, those orange fancy cards, those typically are do well too because there's only 3 days supply. So if you're looking for investing, I would look at in those 2 aspects there. So it's moved to possibly the biggest headline within all of the summer heat promo, which is Kent losing the player pick to Jovic. How hilarious is that?
It couldn't have gone better. I voted for Jovic.
Everyone was doing the same thing.
It's hard for me to believe that was the case. Something tells me that they rigged it just so Kent wouldn't win. I don't know why they would do that, but it's too good to be true.
And that's the hilarious part of it, and that's the thing too. I was looking on Twitter and there was a ton of arguments going both ways on this, but one thing that I think a lot of the big content creators pointed out that kind of swayed me to, okay, maybe it could make sense, is that you have to realize how many casual players play this game who don't even know who Kent are. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
And obviously if you're playing weekend league, you pretty much know who Kent is, but outside of that, dude, Jovic plays for Real Madrid, arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world. He had a huge transfer this summer. So people who just watch football, they know who Jovic is. Not a lot of people know who Kent is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's in the Scottish League, right?
Yeah, exactly. Scottish League.
He's got a silver card.
Right, silver card. He's on the Rangers, I think. Right, so it's just not a lot of people follow him. So I don't know. He is English though, but again, he's not even on the English team, so he's probably a little bit lower rated prospect. Obviously, that card would have been insane in game. A lot of people, calling him a rat in game and didn't want him to win, and that was hilarious. So that was pretty surprising, but also pretty funny. Honestly, though, I'm not even looking twice at this SBC. This has absolutely it doesn't pique my interest at all to complete this.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the card.
Yeah.
I know he's got a 5-star weak foot and strong link to a lot of good players. Madrid.
Right, strong with Madrid 5-star players, but I mean, it actually does look like a decent card, but it's just one of these ones that it's just like there's so many other cards in game now that are that same case that's like I'm not even going to bother with this one. Looking at requirements, I mean, it's 84 and 86, so he's going to be more expensive anyway. So it's just like there's a lot of value that's not within this card, so I'd pass on that. Moving to Player Moments SBC. So that was actually a pretty cool thing by EA. They released a Player Moments SBC, which was 84 rated again, which again they've been on that 84 rated. It's driven up SBC prices a ton, SBC fodders. But I mean, there was a lot of good players. I guess I should say a lot, but there was a pretty decent slot of players that you could get within that SBC. And me and you both got pretty solid players in that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that one. It turned out pretty well. There's a lot of upside. It's probably got the most upside out of all these other SBCs that are out there.
Right. I agree with you. If you look at like across the board, there's just probably like 60-70% of the players you'd be like, okay, like I could play it. And then like maybe 30% you're like, all right, dude, this guy's a starter. Whereas you look at all these other SBCs and the field for all these SBCs, it's just like there's so many lower odds. So yeah, you mentioned earlier you packed Sergio Ramos, which was arguably one of the best ones to pack, and then I packed Bernardo Silva, who's $450,000 value, and he's a solid card. So, I mean, I was happy with that, and I think the value at 84 rated is definitely there to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should give that one a shot.
So, I mean, again, we talked about 4 or 5 promo things from promo content from this SBC or from this Summer Heat promo. That's just, I mean, it's solid. You don't see it from EA. A lot of people are saying, you know, they're trying to sell FIFA 21 pre-orders right now, which is, it's true. It's around that time. So it'd be pretty scummy if that's why they're doing it. But I mean, there's a lot to like here.
Yeah. I got nothing really bad to say about EA this week, so that's good.
It's not usually the case, but I mean, we'll take it, step in the right direction. And then the last thing I want to talk about, which is a really cool concept. And again, this has been in other EA games, Madden and much specifically, but is the Summer Showdown, which is new to EA, new to FIFA completely. It's an SBC that you complete, where you're looking at 2 players who play within that same week, and whoever wins that match gets a +3 from that SBC card that you completed. So it's essentially, you know, you're playing the odds on who you think is going to win. But something else that's unique too is, I mean, if you look at these cards, guys, like even if you think someone's going to win, but you really like the other card, there's still like good cards just to complete, even if you think they're going to lose.
Yeah, definitely both startable cards.
That's what I'm saying.
They just look like a team of the season winger.
Exactly. Like it's like a lower version. It's a lower version team of the season card, which is like if you and then you're looking at a +3 for whoever wins. You're looking at 95 rated cards. So like, I mean, EA can do this, and the thing I like about this is like, dude, EA can do this the entire game of FIFA. So they can start out with, you know, at the beginning of the game, start off with 2 gold players that are 83 and 84, and make it a +1 for when they play. And they can do that the entire season with different teams and players. So like, I think that the possibilities on this card or this concept is like endless in terms of what EA can do with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in terms of like these cards, I mean, they're both good cards. 4-star for Boetius and 4-star for Diaby. So I mean, I think probably if we were looking at just like strictly the cards, I mean, the Diaby left wing, you obviously have French in the Bundesliga. I think that holds a little bit more of a value. But then, I mean, you have good links with Netherlands with Boetius too. So, I mean, if you were doing one of these, who are you going to do regardless of outcome of the game?
Probably go with JP, just because the shooting's a lot better.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, they're solid cards here. I think it's a win by EA. Just looking at the
both 4-star.
Yeah, both 4-star, 4-star. 98 acceleration, 98 sprint speed, 99 agility, 99 at balance. So it's like you literally can't get any better with that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Boetius has got solid stats, 99 stamina, 88 finishing. Could be a little bit higher, but he's fine. 95 acceleration, 95 sprint speed. I mean, they're both solid cards. So win from EA. In terms of talking with the match, like if you're strictly trying to get him for SBC fodder, strictly trying to get the upgrade, you're looking at Leverkusen, which is, I mean, traditionally, it's got the better all-around talent on the roster. They're at 5th place in the Bundesliga, and then you got FSV Mainz, which is in 13th place. So, I mean, just traditionally look at the placing, look at the rosters, like you got to have Leverkusen as the favorite here. They won 5 of the 8 since Bundesliga came back, and FSV Mainz have won 3 of 8. But one of them was Dortmund, which is interesting. I mean, obviously that's a good win right now with them and Bayern at the top. But, yeah, strictly from a betting standpoint and kind of a game standpoint, I got to say Leverkusen is probably the favorite there.
Yeah, I mean, I would just if you're contemplating doing the SBC and you're not sure who's going to win, you want to try to pick the winner. I would just go online and see what Vegas has the odds at,
right?
And then just do that guy.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing you can do, and like I said, I mean I think it's similar to gambling, and it's similar to kind of rolling the dice within your FIFA coins, which is fun. When you're not talking real money, that can be a little bit stressful, but like a concept like this is fun stuff.
Yeah, totally. I'm a big fan.
So, all right. With that, I mean, you got anything else? I know we talked a lot on this episode.
No, that's about it. I'm just stoked to see what they got coming next.
Yeah, it should be a good week. The promo should run for a couple weeks, I believe. So, I mean, again, I think me and you both agree this has been one of EA's best promos. So, we hope we can kind of keep this rolling with footies or whatever maybe next after it. But solid week from EA. We'll see what happens. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in the podcast. Guys and I will be back next week. Hopefully, like I said, we'll start to try to get some guests on it as we kind of get the cadence down. But with that said, appreciate you guys following in, and we'll check in next week.